Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing well. Hey, 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 as you can, whether you're watching me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, welcome everybody. Please do go ahead and hit that share button before we get started. I'm going to start in literally 2 minutes. I'm just going to make sure I share this out and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I pray everybody's doing well. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, everyone. Say hello as you come on in. I'm excited about this conversation I'm going to be hosting today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope we're all doing well. We're excited about this topic. And as you come in, please do say hello. Please do share as well as we get started now. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your comments. Thank you so much for what I was talking about the curries with Aisha and Steph. I must admit, I don't know that much about the situation, so I only commented on the parts that I did know, which was shared with me by various people. But today I've got a great topic. I want to talk to you about exactly what I would do to become the woman that men provide for within 3 conversations or less. Within 3 conversations, what it looks like to be the woman who is provided for within 3 conversations. And I know sometimes people are not sure how to have those conversations. What does it mean? And oftentimes, when I share about this, people say things like, oh, well, it's easy for you, or, it's easy for you to say that, or what do I do when they say no, and different things like that. But I'm going to really talk about this today. And first of all, my name is Rachel-Yvonne McIntosh, and I love to help high standard, godly women become the women of their own dreams and attract everything they want in life, including being married to a masculine provider who is a leader. And so today, what I'm going to talk about is exactly what I would do to become the woman that men provide for within 3 conversations or less. I was reading something and I started to say something else. But I'm gonna write the topic in the comments so you guys can see it as well, and then you'll be able to. I'm gonna pin the comment as well once I've done that. And so if you're watching me on Instagram or TikTok, the best experience is to come on over to YouTube, and where we're talking about this right now, exactly what I do to become the woman that men provide for within 3 conversations. And we're going to get into this now. And if you have any questions while I'm speaking, feel free to comment them in the chat box. And then as I go along, I will answer the questions. So once again, welcome everybody, wherever you're watching me from, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And I want to say this, that when it comes to attracting and being with a man who provides, there are certain conversations that you might feel like are hard to have. But if I had to start from scratch today with no audience, no influence, nobody who was investing in me, and I needed to become the woman that masculine high caliber men provide for within 3 conversations, this is exactly what I would do. And I want you to understand this, that this isn't about pretending to be weak. It's about understanding power. Because when you embody peace, there's something about a peaceful woman that men and money both rush to protect. When you embody peace, when you have this idea of godly femininity and you show up in the best way possible, you begin to attract circumstances where they are welcoming for provision and for covering. And the thing is that most women try to earn provision. And if you're watching this, maybe you've been in a position before that you try to earn provision, and you try to earn it by being perfect, by being useful, or being endlessly loyal. But you get exhausted from leading and still not being covered, because you cannot really earn provision from a man. There's no amount of work you can do to make him feel like you're worthy of his investment. Provision isn't a prize, it's actually a response. And a masculine man provides because your presence makes him want to. And that really is the secret. The secret is that a masculine man provides because your presence makes him want to. And that is the secret. And when it comes to kingdom order is really clear on this topic, which is why I love to talk about it, is that men provide and women multiply. And so that is what I would describe as a divine design. And it's not oppression at all. When God created the feminine to be a vessel of honor, a vessel of favor, when you live as though you have already what you need, heaven and men move to confirm that. The way you think really matters. And how you think about yourself, how you think about your life, how you think about what God has given to you will always show up in the way you live your life. So once again, when you live as though you already have what you need, heaven and men move to confirm it. And so in the first conversation, so as I said, we're talking today about how to exactly what I would do to become the woman that men provide for within 3 conversations. So that's what we're talking about today. And so the first thing that I would do in the first conversation, my only job would be to make him feel peace, would be to make him feel peace. Now, let me dial it back a little bit. You can only allow a man to feel peace when you yourself have a peaceful spirit. When you have a calming energy, when you have the fruit of the spirit, when you allow God to rest in your heart, that is the only way that you can even provide peace. You can't be a peaceful woman if you don't have peace for yourself. So in the first conversation, so remember I said, this is how to exactly what I would do to become the woman men provide for in 3 conversations. And these things work because it's exactly, these are exactly the things that I do and how I speak and whatnot. Okay. And also I've seen it work in hundreds of my clients' lives. They come back to me and tell me what worked. They tell me what different things happened in their conversations and so on. So in the first conversation, my only job will be to make him feel peace. And I want you to relax. I want you to slow down your tone. I want you to practice not oversharing. See, we have this tendency as women, because again, it goes back to this idea of trying to prove yourself, right? We have this tendency as women to overshare from the very beginning. We're oversharing, we're over talking, we're sharing too much information too soon. Whereas in the first conversation, you want to create an atmosphere of peace. So therefore, these are the things, there are questions that you can ask that can draw out his purpose. So you get to know more about him as a man, as a leader, his beliefs and things like that. So here are a couple of questions. So if you're writing notes, you want to write this down. And these videos will live on my YouTube channel. So if you're not on my YouTube, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, highly recommend it. So one of the first questions that I need you to be asking him in this first conversation is, what are you building right now? What are you building right now? The second question is, what legacy matters most to you? And of course, you can use ChatGPT or any other AI to get your own questions that relate to you, or you can think about what I'm saying and then see what feels natural for you. But I don't want you to come and tell me this doesn't work until you actually do it. And then the third question I want you to realize, or not question, but thought I want you to consider today is this: that men invest where they feel recognized and not interrogated. if a man feels comfortable in your presence, and these work over the phone as well, these don't just work in person. These can work over the phone. This can work over text messages, especially voice notes. Voice notes are probably, if you can't get a phone conversation due to his schedule or something like that, then I highly recommend a good voice note. Voice notes are always gonna, flip the script a little bit because he gets to hear your voice. He gets to feel your energy. He gets to really hear, like it's much more impacting. It's much more impactful. And so when you do this, so you want to ask those questions and you want to understand that when a man feels recognized and not interrogated, he's going to invest into you because he feels that peace and that security in what you're doing. So that's only the first conversation. So we're not asking, we're not showing up in a particular way. We are showing up as ourselves. Now, conversation number 2. So the second conversation, and this is where we are, it's more about, in this conversation, it's more about honor and expectation, right? Okay. And so by the second conversation, it's about reflecting his strength back to him. So you can say things like, it's rare to meet a man who actually follows through. You want to kind of speak to things that he's actually doing, things that he's actually presenting to you, the way that he makes you feel. Like, and remember, this is only for a specific type of man. So this is not for any old random man. These are for specific men who meet the requirements of the caliber of man that we are discussing. And you already know. And if this is your first time watching me, I talk always about a high caliber man, a man of integrity, a man of strong leadership, a man who's a leader in his community, whether it's a leader in politics, leader in his church, leader in his workplace, man who shows leadership skills, a godly man. So this is a man who has, for me, because I'm faith-based from the Bible, I'm mostly going to be talking about Christian men, but you can make it apply to whatever faith you have, but this is specific, right? So we're only talking about a certain type of man, a man who exhibits strong, godly, masculine integrity, leadership. Those are the type of men. And I know while I'm speaking, you can think about a few men that you know that are like that. And if you're a man watching this, you need to consider whether you fit that bill too. Because as a man, these are the ways that you are going to attract better women as well, by understanding these kind of conversations. So it kind of like goes both ways about what a man needs and what a woman needs. They are compatible with each other because that's how God created us. Okay, so don't explain, don't over explain, don't over talk. And that's always going to be a key theme in what I'm sharing. Is I'm never going to be one like to tell everybody everything immediately and so on and so forth. And when you say something like that, it's rare to meet a man who actually follows through. That one line calls him higher because men give to what honors them. Men are going to be more likely to give to a woman who honors who they are, who shows up with godly character, who shows up with honoring who they are and shows that level of respect. This is why in the Bible, it talks about this idea of husbands love your wives. Then it says, wives, honor and respect your husband, because that respect, that honor needs to be there from the beginning. Whilst respect can grow over time, I don't recommend you ever entertaining, dating, and especially not marrying a man that you do not respect. I always joke that I love to be able to be like, I feel like if you're scared of him a little bit, that's always a good marker. It's a joke though. Like, it's not, I'm not saying you should be scared of your man, but you know what I mean? Where that level of respect and adoration, and, you look at him and you're like, wow, that's amazing. That's a man. That is the kind of energy that we're looking for, right? So that's the second conversation. And so today, remember, our topic of what we're talking about is these are the exact things I would do to become the woman that men provide for in 3 conversations. And I'm sharing you things that I've done that works. I'm also sharing things that my clients have done, friends of mine have done, different conversations that I've had with various people, women in my community, and they've gone and used these things and come back and reported back amazing results. And so the third and final conversation is where you give the feminine invitation. All right. And so this is the final conversation, and it's around vulnerability and vision. And I want you to say something like this. Now, this is not a script, this is something like. So, as I said in the previous one, you want to take what I'm saying and put it through your own filter. Don't use what I'm saying word for word. It needs to come naturally from your soul. I can share this because it's how I speak. Like any man that watches this video that has ever encountered me, they will be like, oh yeah, this is exactly how Rachel speaks, because I need you to understand it's in my voice, whereas I want you to put it into your words, how you speak, how you approach him, how you connect with him. And so this is the in this third conversation, this is what I want you to say. Something like this: I love when a man takes the lead, it makes me feel safe. I love when a man takes the lead. It makes me feel safe. Then, if you're on the video, you can smile, you can go quiet and just let that land for a moment. Now, you've just given him space to rise. If you are always filling all the spaces, filling all the gaps, there is nowhere for him to rise to meet you. Masculine energy needs permission to serve, not competition. So it's not, oh, you do this and I do that. It's not tit for tat. It's not you give me this and I give you that. It's about compatibility. And when you have this energy about you, masculine energy needs permission to serve. And if you never give an opportunity for him to serve, for him to step up, for him to show you who he is, then you're never going to reap those rewards and see what that looks like in your own life. Okay. And so you need to understand this so that you can actually show up that way, in that way, and then you'll begin to see better results. So provision is the masculine reward for feminine faith. So when you show up in that way of just honoring him as a man, honoring, respecting, and remember, as I said, if you're struggling with respecting and honoring and in seeing like the king in him, then it's the wrong man, right? Remember, these are specific men. This is a man you've already vetted. This is a man that you already know is worthy of your energy to start with in the first place. So masculine provision isn't something that you buy. It is something that you evoke from your presence. So when your presence feels like peace, men can start competing to be the one who provides it. They want to be the one. Like it literally becomes like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? Like, what do you need in this moment? How can I help you? When men see your feminine energy and they feel it, they will always offer solutions. I had something that I was dealing with. Like, I always have real life examples because this is literally how it works in my own life. I was even having a conversation with my dad about something, and he was literally like, oh, well, you have my card number, just go ahead and get it. I didn't even ask him in that conversation. I was just talking about it. I left space for the movement. And then he responded with, okay, well, you got my card, so just go ahead and book it. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And it was just like, yeah, no problem, moved on. Doesn't expect, and I even joke with him sometimes. And that's just an example of using it, like even with my dad or my brother or friends that you might have. So this is not always about romantic situations, but in general, how you show up is in a space where you are not in competition. You're not in competition because it is about knowing that this is who I am, and this is what happens when I show up in my fullest expression of who I am. And so I have something that's going to be starting tomorrow called Spoiled and Secure, which is only $27. And it is a 3-day thing that I'm doing where I am sending you voice notes, activations for you to become the woman who steps up into that, how to receive with grace, right? We're going to be talking about how to receive with grace. We're going to be talking about standing in the energy that makes provider men step up. And you're going to get these like different drops of even scripts and different energy things and prayers and different ways you can show up. And that is only $27. And if you're interested in that, send me the message spoiled and I'll send you the link personally. Alternatively, you can just see the link, my link tree, it's right there. You can join me without even messaging me. But if you'd like a conversation with me about this, send me a message. Send me the word spoiled and I'll send you the link completely. And if you're watching this and you're saying that actually you don't just want to jump into like a small thing like that, which is a 3-day audio experience with me, only $27. And if you want to join, send me the word spoiled and I will send you the link to join us. Only $27. It's called Spoiled and Secure. And I'm gonna go ahead. If you're on if you're on Facebook and YouTube, I'm gonna pull up the image for it so you know what to look for. If you're looking on my is embody the rich wife energy that men can't resist honoring and providing for. So that's going to be an amazing, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to do this one because I am dropping in so many codes and more of what we're talking about today, but in a longer way. And of course you'll have this video will always be available for you as well. And if you're ready, know you're ready for more and you're ready for marriage, legacy, and lasting provision, then I have a 6-week high-level mentorship called She's a Wife. And that's where you belong. That's where I teach you how to become the woman he prays for, soft, strategic, spiritually powerful, and fully covered. And if you DM me the word provided, then I will send you the full details. And so here's the final thing I want to say in closing today is that you don't chase provision, you attract it. And the moment you start believing that you deserve to be covered, everything in your world rearranges to prove it. I had a bit of a surprise happen last week. I was meant to be traveling somewhere and then I had to change it due to, circumstances outside of myself. And in that moment, I was irritated because I was like, why did I have to change my plans? But then I was like, you know what? I have a belief that everything always works out for me and for everybody I'm connected to. And you got to understand that in the midst of that, things started to shift and move that I didn't have room for if I had stuck to my original travel plans. It doesn't mean that everything happens perfectly, but you realize everything is always working out for you. And so maybe you're watching this and you're saying, okay, Rachel, I hear what you're saying about 3 conversations that you can get provided for in 3 conversations or less. And you're saying, how do I know it's going to work? How do you know it's not going to work? I dare you to try what I have shown you in this video and report back to me what happens. And if you want to start small and join Spoiled and Secure, which is my 3-day audio experience, then click the link in the bio, or you can DM me the word spoiled and I'll send you the information. It's also going to be in my story on Instagram. I'm going to put up the information on TikTok as well. It'll be on my stories as well, so you can get the information, and it'll be in the comments as well for this particular video. And either way, whatever you decide to do today, it begins with one decision that you don't prove anymore. You get to step into receiving. All right. So God bless everyone. And I will be back tomorrow with another conversation for you. Bye-bye.